We are back. That's right. You knew, yeah.
Lauren explains it all.
Only been a few hours, but it felt like days. Only been days, but it felt like months.
It's something about toxic R&B singers, man.
Life move fast when you're doing
Brent Faiyaz is definitely my top 3.
I feel like R&B has changed from like really about loving your girl to being toxic as fuck to your girl.
Lauren explains it all.
Lauren Explains It All podcast. Got Maul over here.
Episode 8. You always forget to shout out the episodes, bro. Episode 8. We are back in the building. Hey, shout out to Brent Faiyaz, man. That was a good record right there. His album's out now.
I'm not gonna lie, and I'm a little different when it comes to music. Can you like tell me who that is?
Hold on.
Because I don't think.
Listen.
I'm very much one of those like when it comes to like I'll say like American music, it's got to be like mainstream kind of thing. Because I branch out to like a lot of worldwide global music, but I have no idea who this is, to be honest with you.
I gotta put you on there. Brent Faiyaz is definitely, when you want to get in your toxic bag, Brent Faiyaz is definitely top 3 on my list right now. We are all toxic. We gotta stop denying everybody got toxic traits, man.
So why do you think he's toxic? Like, what gives him his toxic vibe then, so I can explain how I'm not toxic?
It's the age-old saying. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like Brent does this really great thing of admitting all the bad shit he's done, but say, I'ma still do that shit. And I be feeling that shit sometimes, man. Sometimes you just gotta be honest with a motherfucker. Say, yes, I did this. This is what I'm doing. But guess what?
Is that really toxic,
I'm not gonna stop.
Because I feel like maybe that's just who you are. Like, okay.
No, that is toxic.
No. It's not toxic, because you could say, okay, that's like saying, like you meet like a serial killer and they tell you, yeah, I killed them, and I'm gonna still do it because I'm a serial killer. Like, he's not being toxic, he's just being honest with you.
So you believe he walking in this truth?
So I guess the question is like, are toxic and honesty the two in the same? Because I could tell you straight up, yeah, I know cookies are bad for me, but I'm gonna still eat them motherfuckers because they good.
And that is toxic. So hey, that's the toxic truth. There you go.
How is that? Like, I feel like toxic is like different though, because it's like you could say, I feel like the definition of toxic would be like, okay, you know you wrong and you admit that you wrong and you say you're not gonna do it again to like this person, but then you turn around and do it again. Like straight up lying. Okay, that's toxic.
No, that's what he's saying.
No, but if you openly admit it and be like, yeah, I did this shit, I'm still gonna do it, that's just honesty. Versus like saying like okay, if I had a boyfriend, right, and let's say he caught me flirting with another dude, right, and I'll be like, yeah, I flirted with him, but I'm not gonna do it again. And then you turn around and do it again the next week. That's toxic as fuck, because you're basically lying.
I think it's toxic either way. I think it's toxic either way.
No. Versus,
I think it's toxic either way, because you gotta listen. If I'm telling you, I'm meant to you, like, yo, I got a shorty, right? I'm telling her, yo, I'm gonna keep doing this. I know it hurts your feelings, but instead of leaving you, I'm gonna stay with you and still do my thing.
But that's stupid, because on the female's end, it's not necessarily toxic. She's just stupid. Like, he openly told you the truth. Like, I know it hurts your feelings. Basically, I don't give a fuck, and I'm gonna still keep doing it. So it's just her being stupid by staying with you. It's not you really being toxic. You being honest with her, like, yeah, I know it hurts your feelings. I really just don't care, and I'm gonna still do it because I want to. Like, that's just honest. I get
what you're saying. So I'm gonna call Brent Faiyaz from here on out.
But it's different.
That's
it's different if you were to like tell her, oh, I'm not gonna do it, and then turn around and do it the next week. That's toxic. So it's like, nigga, you just fucking lying over here. Like, what the fuck?
So you ain't got no toxic traits?
I think for me, first of all, I will definitely say that cookie example was true, because I be fucking up them Pillsbury cookies. I'm not supposed to, because I be on IG promoting fitness and whatnot, but the donuts at Dunkin' Donuts and the cookies be hitting. I think when it comes to a lot of people, like, I don't really think I'm toxic. I think I'm brutally honest, and it might hurt somebody's feelings, so they might put a toxic label on it or say that she's rude, but it's like, no, I'm just brutally honest. Like, what I gotta lie for?
That's true.
You're not paying my bills.
Yeah.
And some people look at you like, oh, she really just said that, she toxic. It's like, but did you want me to lie to you? Now, if I lie to you, that's toxic.
Listen, I know I got some toxic traits, but I am dealing with my toxic traits, and I'm loving myself. You feel me? But Brent Faiyaz is definitely top 3.
How you doing with yourself?
What you mean, huh?
Well, you said you're toxic and you're handling your toxicity, so you're handling it, how you handling
by
it, so
not
you
being
can help,
toxic.
you can
know what I'm
help,
saying?
you know, these people out here. Speaking of that, like, okay, not being toxic. How do you not be toxic if it's just kind of embedded into you?
I mean, because we all got freedom of choice. So you have always life is like a stop sign. You got to left or right or go straight, whatever. So you got to choose every time you make a stop sign to go left or right. And maybe right is toxic, maybe left is toxic, maybe opposite ends is doing the right thing. We all have a choice. So yes, everybody is toxic, they have toxic traits. But every time they get to that little stop sign in life to make a decision, they have to decide whether to go left or right with it. Simple as that.
So could you relate that to like if I had to get an example where it's like, I don't know, smoking weed.
What's toxic about smoking bud?
Like, okay, I'll say that some people believe this where they say like, I've heard like people say smoking weed is bad because you're not as productive. Versus like me, I'm definitely one of those, like, you know, it's just a catalyst of how you want to use it. If you want to go to sleep, smoke some weed. Or if you smoke a different strand, it might make you productive and creative. You know what I'm saying? And then you got the other one just like, what the fuck is that shit? That's a devil's lettuce. Like,
yeah.
So when you have those kind of definitions, like, I guess like when you get to your stop sign and you got 3 different ways to go, left, right, or straight, is there really a definition of toxic, or is it just everybody's definition is different?
I think, you know, toxicity is like beauty and assholes. Everybody got one. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got eyes to, you know. Hold on, I just fucked that up.
You know what? It's okay,
really
because at the end of the day,
but I knew I was trying to say though. I was trying to say, bro.
It's okay because
no. I got it. Listen, check. Listen, toxicity is like beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder. You know what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. It's also like opinion, like assholes. Everybody got it. Everybody. And got I was one. Just gonna everybody say got that. A toxic trait.
I was just gonna say, like, you know, at the end of the day, toxicity is an opinionated ideal. So like, really, who gives a fuck? Because I don't give a fuck about your opinion. This is my life.
Exactly.
So,
but back to the story at hand. Brent Fires, man, yo, drop some more heat. Album out now. I fuck with Brent Fires, and I'm gonna put you on after the pod. Don't worry about it. I got you. I
gotta do some research. You know, I'm out there with what's the name? Burna Boy dropped that album. That shit sliding.
Hey, Burna Boy.
Speaking of, they said the song Last I always listen to, that shit be slapping. The story behind that, and you know how they always say like, heartbreak breeds like the best music. Him and Stefflon Don, I guess, used to like date, and well, he ended up cheating on her, but anyway, they're going back and forth for a little bit, this and that, and they just fell apart. So that song is like the breakup song of that relationship. And so I saw on Instagram, she took the exact same beat, put it on one of her tracks, but she kind of fooled everybody because she created all this hype on Instagram about, oh, go subscribe, go look out for this video, it's dropping soon, blah blah blah. She put the exact same beat on a song, stopped the beat like 30, it was only like a minute long song, stopped the beat and said, now mind your damn business, like, to everybody. She had so many people fooled.
Great marketing.
Oh my god,
Shouts
I gotta pull it up. But the thing is, like, it was only up on YouTube for like 30 seconds because, you know, copyrights took it down within like 30 seconds. Yeah. And I was like, damn, I wish I would have let that shit up, because like she went on a whole spiel about how people need to mind their business. It's not what happened in my relationship to this and that, which is like some truth, because I ain't gonna cap being in that limelight. I'd be like, yo, get the fuck out of my business.
I feel you. Hey, I feel you on that. Definitely, I feel you on that. But round of applause to you, man. You are back in the city that you love so much, man. All this vacationing, man. Good to have you back, man.
Listen, I'm back in the city that I'm from, but I really don't miss it because this heat is something different, and it's so goddamn humid outside. Like, I feel like my thighs sticking together every time I get up out of my car. It's like my thighs just stuck to like a leather couch. It's so disgusting. And then, you know, you get in the car and it's so damn hot from the windshield that you burn your ass cheeks. I'm like, I'm tired of this shit.
Hey, man, I love Florida, man. I love it. I love it.
I love it when the weather's good, not this hot. When I die, I better be going to heaven, because if hell is as hot as this, nigga, just ship my ass back to wherever the fuck I came from.
Well, start repenting now, my G. Wow. Repenting now.
Well, dear Heavenly Father. You know, I'll break out our prayer right now.
What's on the docket today?
But anyway, speaking of like heat and whatnot, I was reading something online and it was saying in California it's so hot that the wildfires are crazy, to the point, I think it was Yosemite National Park, the sequoias, the trees, and they're like real ancient trees. They're like some of the tallest trees in the world. They're trying to preserve them as much as possible because, you know, fire will burn them down, but it's so hot that they're having so many wildfires that's getting harder and harder. And even further, they was talking about, you know, in Florida, even though it always rains in the summer, yes, they're saying like the rains and the thunderstorms that we're getting now are so much more severe, and you're gonna hear like louder thunder booms and whatnot because literally I guess like electromagnetic field in the sky is getting to be off because it's so hot that it's really throwing off the weather type shit.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like,
And this is because of global warming, correct?
yeah. So like, and it's interesting you say that because global warming in itself has been like its own little topic where some people believe in it, some of it don't. But at the end of the day, look, Earth is on an orbit, and this orbit is getting closer to the sun because I can feel this shit. Like, I know we close to the equator, but you can literally feel this shit. And so it's funny because I was on Netflix and I think it was called Love, Death, and Robots. It was
I heard that show. It
was a little random at first, but
it's like little cartoons or something like that. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But like it had like a real ass interesting storyline because it was talking about robots and basically it's themed where like in the future and the
world comes to an end type.
Yeah.
Based
and
off
the robots
global
come
warming,
back and tell the stories of human civilization, and the shit is real. Like it really made sense. It was talking about humans went extinct because they hunted every single animal that was larger than a cat. Then they turned around and started having cannibalism and eating each other.
Yeah.
It went crazy. The poor people basically killed each other with like guns and like knives and spears, like what they had, which is like we're killing each other now with the gun laws and whatnot. But the rich people moved out to like this oil rig in the middle of the ocean and tried to survive off of fish, and then they died because they kept eating the fish that had microplastics in the ocean. It's like, bro, what the fuck are we really doing to our planet? If you
Whoever
think
wrote
about
that is very forward thinking, for real.
that's some Terminator shit.
Yeah. So are you one of those people that believe that, you know, the world is eventually going to blow up and explode and start over again?
I don't know if
i.e. like the dinosaurs, which is false.
Oh Jesus.
Don't get me started on them fucking dinosaurs, please. Don't,
y'all,
man.
Mom,
Do not
give me your
started,
spill.
bro.
Are dinosaurs real or not?
Listen, I know I'm gonna get ate up. Yo, my kids tell me all the time, you get on me. Everybody gets on me that I say this in front of. I just don't think dinosaurs were real at the capacity that they telling us. I'm just keeping a bean. I know I sound dumb as hell based off science and shit like that.
Okay.
But in my heart, I feel like ain't no fucking such thing as dinosaurs in the capacity that they show us.
Here's another debate. Was the U.S. the first one to go on the moon?
Don't get me, bro. Come on, man. We know ain't nobody went on the fucking moon, man. That's why you can't see nobody on the moon right now. We went on the moon 1969, bro, and I have not seen nobody Instagram live off the moon.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying the times that we are in right now.
Instagram live.
If a man went on the moon, he would have been gramming on the moon. You know what I'm saying? It would have been lit up there.
I don't know. I will say,
man.
For the longest time, I did believe the U.S. was the first to set foot on the moon because that's what they teach you in schools and shit. I'm not gonna lie. So like, if you don't know no better, you're just gonna believe what they tell you. But I watched it. There was a doc. I be watching a lot of Netflix. Okay, Netflix be putting me on. I was watching some documentary, and it was explaining why it was a lie. It was saying like the shadow of the picture in the flag doesn't make sense at this angle type shit. There's no air on the moon. Like the gravity levels are different. So how is the flag actually flowing? Like there's wind on the moon. You know what I'm saying? Plus we were in a race of who can reach the moon first. And you know the U.S. been known to lie about shit just to be first to do it and declare their dominance.
My grandma, R.I.P. Carrie Mae, told me this shit back in the day. She told me, ain't no man ever went on the moon, Jamal. You just know. If you know anything, you know that ain't no man went on the moon. I remember that conversation like it was yesterday, but I got a no-look pass for you.
What?
But you know who can get to the moon?
Jesus.
My boy Elon.
Oh.
Elon.
Oh, shit. He probably could because, you know, Elon Musk, like, this man, if you want to talk about, like, a little mastermind, it's a good thing that he be kind of geared in the right direction because if you want to talk about, like, an evil villain that could really come to place, like, it's that could be like an evil mastermind easily. But anyways, speaking of this man, he's over here getting sued by Twitter for not following through with his deal of pay $44 billion.
I don't know. It's a lot of B's in there, but I don't think it was 44. Let me get the.
I'm pretty positive it's 44.
It's 44. Okay, go ahead. Keep
but basically, the story goes that Twitter did not disclose all their bot accounts. So bot accounts are like basically like spam accounts, and they act as if they're real accounts. Like they respond to people's tweets, they like tweets, they retweet them, blah blah blah. And so Twitter did not disclose how much of their accounts are actually spam fake accounts. So Elon Musk is like over here, well, I ain't gonna pay 44 billion, you know what I'm saying? Because that means the company's not valued at what it's thought to be valued at.
Because those bots are fake. And yeah. I got a little experience with bots, man. I'm on the sneaker app every other week trying to cop. And I cannot win. They said because of the bots, but continue on.
Oh my gosh. So anyways, you know, even though Twitter still is a very powerful platform, it's like, is it really valued at 44 billion? Then if half your, like, I won't say half, but I think it's like 5% of the accounts are basically spam accounts. And when you think about 5%, it may seem like a small amount, but when you're talking about 5% of like trillions of accounts, that's a that's a lot of accounts that might just be fake. So it's like, I don't know. They're supposed to, I think they're suing him, and this man made a meme out of it, and this man's really funny as fuck.
He's a genius.
He made a meme in response. It was basically like, okay, I'll see y'all asses in court, little nigga.
Hey, he pulled it out on him, whipped it on the table on him.
Man, speaking of, first of all, let's talk about the power this man has, because you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I've made my mistakes with finance in the past, and so I will say you don't learn much unless you make mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So my dumb ass, well, I want to say dumb. I think a lot of people did this too. Dogecoin. I went and bought a whole bunch of Dogecoin before this man sat here and started talking about it on Saturday Night Live. And he didn't say what he was supposed to say. I cannot tell you how much money I lost off of that shit.
He's been supposed to pull, man. The gig is the gig, man. And the gig was up.
But
when it shot high to like 78 cents, I'm cashed out, man. Give me all that back.
I ain't even gonna lie, like, I still got it. I just feel like,
Lord.
No, because I really feel like,
listeners, is valued at about 4 cents right now, about 5 cents right now.
you know, it's okay. I only paid 6 cents for it, so yeah,
lost a penny or two.
Yeah, I'm really negative on that one, but I still feel like it's gonna pick up in the future. Like, I want to keep it just for the sense of, like, you know, this man mentioned it, and even though he didn't talk about it in the best light, I do see in the future that currency in general, like, people are gonna start to develop their own types of currencies, their own way of
Dogecoin to the moon.
shit. Next thing you know, there's gonna be the dog logo on the moon. We're gonna be looking up at a dog. Mm-hmm. But anyway, speaking of investing, I was listening to another podcast. I'm not gonna lie, I do like to listen to other podcasts. And
Shout them out.
I think it was Earn Your Leisure.
Round of applause, man. I love that fucking podcast. Continue to keep on doing what y'all do.
They actually have an Earn Your Leisure University where they really teach you about, like, investing and whatnot. And it started by two black guys, and like, they're really good at, like, you know, promoting for the community, because they recognize, like, this system was not built for us. Mm-hmm. It's really built against it. So it's like, how do you manipulate the system? And I get a lot of, like, good investment tips from them. But anyways, the one that I learned from them just recently was this idea of, like, a mixed use property. And so mixed use is exactly how it sounds. It's like a property that has multiple uses. So you see these properties a lot up north in, like, New York, New England states. You don't see it so much down south, but you can find them, or you can convert something into a mixed use property with the right amount of funds. But anyways, basically what it is like, you'll have a restaurant or just a commercial property or something that can be used as commercial space on the first floor, and then above it you might have like four rental units that you can rent out as, you know, for places for people to actually live. And so in New York, that's really big because, you know, you have like very city like structure. The infrastructure there is very compacted, narrow streets and that kind of thing. So a lot of people actually do live above restaurants and that kind of thing. You know, you can go through the side, whatever. So
is the rent like expensive? Because if you're on top of a restaurant, I imagine to be rent kind of high, right?
Well, I mean, in general, you're in New York,
yeah,
and rents up north tend to be a lot more.
Oh, trust me, yes,
expensive than down south.
Yes.
Which is crazy because that's kind of reason why the Florida market has been booming. Is like, for the amount that you're paying up north, you get a lot more space down south. Now there's more that comes with that, but you know, generally you can get like a big ass house down here for the price of one apartment in New York. Yeah,
but they're also making more too. That's the financial thing too. Most people in New York compared to Florida make average income more. You know what I'm saying?
It kind of balances out because like each state is different. yes, your rent will be higher, but you can also gain equity over time, because think about it, if you're in New York in general, any property that you're going to be able to afford, or the purchase price is probably going to appreciate over time just because of the location alone.
Yeah, for
you know
sure.
what I'm saying? Two, I will say it is all relative, because even though you get paid more in New York, everything in the up there, that as far as groceries and that kind of thing, is probably going to be more expensive. Number one, your rents are going to be more expensive. Number two, and you have state tax you're also looking at on top of like your regular property tax and that kind of thing too. So, there are a lot more responsibilities of living up there. But down here you have it on the flip side, you may not get paid as much, but you get more space for what you are purchasing, and you don't have state tax. It's relatively cheaper to live here. But all that's really changing, to be honest, because like the economy is all over the goddamn place, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's crazy right now. It's crazy.
The market has been looking like a roller coaster. Bitcoin, I mean, cryptocurrency in general is down right now.
Yeah.
But anyways, back to mixed use property. So how this works. So the definition of a residential property is 1 to 4 units. Anything 5 and above is commercial properties, and those are different kind of loans. So it's not as lucrative at that point. So the best example I can give you is kind of like if you have a mixed use property or have access to one, you purchase it using one of your residential loans, which is, the easiest one's going to be a FHA loan, which you can use, because I think the only requirement is like 3.5% down. Normally they'll want 20% down. You get typically lower interest rates and that kind of thing. But how it's beneficial is that the only requirement with the FHA loan is that you have to live in the property for a year. Now, it doesn't say you have to stay in the property for the length of the loan. You know what I'm saying? And your mortgage loan's probably gonna be 20 or 30 plus years. So the ideal situation is like, okay, you find this mixed use property. It looks like it's in a good location, blah, blah, blah. You live in one of the units out of the 4. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For a year, and then the other 3 units you can rent out, and then the commercial piece that's underneath, since it's part of the property but not used to live in, it's not seen as like a unit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like an extra space, as if it was like a garage essentially. So the way it seems that you could actually rent that out to someone who wants to own their own restaurant and collect rent off of that. So now you're collecting rent from the underneath portion where the restaurant's at, the 3 other units, and you live in rent free, hopefully. Yeah. If you charge the right amount. Then after a year, you can move out and rent your unit out, and now you're just using the rents to pay for the mortgage payment, monthly payment, plus interest, maybe some like fixer upper things, and the rest is profit for you. And then over time, because of the location, it's real estate. At the end of the day, 9 out of 10 real estate is going to appreciate over time.
But how do you get into those spaces? So if I have aspirations of doing what you said, how do I get into that space?
You go up there. Like okay, how would you start your research? How do I start my research? I go on YouTube and I type in mixed use properties New York, mixed use properties Virginia. I literally go like online and just look up random shit and just see like, okay, start from the bottom, like, okay, where do you get into this? You can go on biggerpockets.com is literally like a group of nothing but real estate investors, mortgage loan officers, and they all come together and they start to they collaborate, and it's like, okay, how can you help me help you and help this person? Everybody comes together, whether it's commercial property or residential property. So I'll go on there and type, it's like a Twitter blog but for like investors, I kid you not.
Yeah.
And I'll go in there and just type like, hey, my name is Lauren, I'm interested in this mixed use property idea, who can give me some feedback on it? And then people will literally respond to, because everybody wants to help, because they know like, you make money, I make money, everybody makes money. So I'll go on there, do some research. If I can, book a flight up there and just kind of see the area, because you still want to make sure it's a good area where you'll be able to cash flow, because you don't want to necessarily buy a property that's kind of in an area that's not going to give you much return on your investment. So you still want to go up there and make sure it's a good area still, there's people coming through, and that you can actually get people people to actually rent out your spaces. And then you just go through the process. You want to get an agent. You might want to get a couple of other investors who have been through the process too, just to give you like the ins and outs, so you don't make, like preventable mistakes. But at the end of the day, it's really just about doing your research, boots on the ground, and taking that risk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
and I think it's key. One of the things that you said that I don't want it to be overlooked is that you have to invest in yourself. Like you said, I take a trip up there. I'm just not relying on the opinions of others. I actually have to go see the property for myself, and that's really big right there. You got to invest in yourself. I remember like when you was thought about doing a podcasting thing, you looking for a co-host, whatever, and you asked me like, if I put you on, what can you offer? And I said, oh, I'll invest in myself. Like I invest in this podcast. So if anything you take from her, Lauren, you know what I'm saying? You have to invest in yourself. You have to make the right moves. You just can't just do things with a hope and a wish. It's all about investing in your future.
I mean, investing in your future, putting your time itself is an investment, and how you spend your time is going to be an investment. So I think at first, sometimes what I would do, if I don't necessarily have the funds to book a flight there, you know, you get creative. You can literally go on Google Maps, put the satellite view, type in the address, and it'll put you like literally like street view on the ground. Like it's crazy what technology can do. I do that all the time, where it's like, okay, let me see if I can't necessarily get out there with a flight or a train or whatever, or if I know a friend that's already in that city. Like I have a brother that lives in Ohio. Sometimes I'll call and be like, FaceTime me if you can go to this place and, you know, give me some boots on the ground kind of look. FaceTime them. Again, Google is a great one because you can see a lot almost anywhere in the world on Google. Bro, you can literally find your house with your cars on a picture on Google. It's crazy. Like when I tell you Big Brother is watching you, that motherfucker is staring.
Don't even get me started, man. Don't even. Hey, listen. See, you trying to trigger me this episode, but I'm gonna be good.
Triggered? No.
Dinosaurs, the Man on the Moon, Big Brother. Like, yo, stop.
But let's be real. Like, first of all, I don't know if everybody had to read this book in school, but it was 1984 by George Orwell. Where it's the whole that's where the whole concept of Big Brother is watching you came from. That's probably one of the best books that I read because it really stuck with me. And I read a lot of books. Like I just read for fun. And it was basically about, you know, they have society, but there's cameras literally everywhere in this society. And it's just like society now, where it's like you can't do nothing without getting caught or someone finding a trace or something, because it's like everything you do is tracked. Whether as soon as you log into Instagram on your phone, you know, and it touches the IP address. You can't even connect to the internet without touching the IP address. You make a phone call, you're bouncing off of telephone towers. You see what I'm saying? Like to get the radio waves. You step outside, there's cameras on the freaking Walmart watching you. Like you cannot do nothing on this planet without getting followed, something streaming, something looking at you. Unless you go off the grid. And I don't know about y'all, but me and off the grid, I don't like mosquitoes, so and I don't like roaches.
I mean, the whole Big Brother theory has been taught to us over the last 25 plus years. Even before that, they've been telling you that this was coming. Enemy of the State, Will Smith. I remember being a jit watching that movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's almost like they've been telling you that Big Brother has always been watching, and this is just with the technology and everything added onto that. This is just the final piece, and trust me, it's going to get scary.
Final piece? No, I don't even think this is the final piece. To be honest with you, I feel like this is the beginning. Like in a sense, like this is the beginning of like where technology can go. But if I had to be long term with you, like I think we're gonna get to a point where it's like your mind is the biggest player on your body, and they're gonna get to a point where they can literally manipulate your mind so much that you cannot tell what is real and what is fake at this point, because we're already there with like Instagram on a small sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A lot of people, like I was reading something where it's talking about if you drink alcohol in your teens, you're more likely to be an alcoholic in your 30s, and it's like, you know, a lot of alcohol and drug use, they say, in this generation is linked to depression and that kind of thing. Depression, a lot of high rates of depression and suicide have come from social media, constantly comparing yourself to these IG models or whatever you want to call them.
Yeah. And
things that aren't real, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's hard for, you know, young kids, say like your 13, 14, 15-year-olds coming up in this generation, they are nothing, their lives are nothing but TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you know, Twitter, all of that 24/7, hell, 25/8.
Yeah.
To the point that they can't tell when, no, that's a Barbie and that's a real body. Like, and what you look like in the mirror is perfectly normal. But my little Betsy over here, 15-year-old, is depressed as hell because she ain't got triple D's at 15. Like, that is not normal. Now she drinking alcohol, and now she an alcoholic at 30.
See, those are conversations that need to be had by, you know, they need somebody positive in their life. You don't have to be a parent. Just somebody positive to let them know, like, yo,
but
you are beautiful just the way you are.
I feel like,
you know,
we have celebrities like, I would say like Selena Gomez, I will promote like, you're fine just the way you are, you know what I'm saying? But I think it gets to a point where it's like the visual versus the audio, it clicks more with the visual. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like being lectured in a classroom. Like eventually you're just gonna tune them out, where it's just like, yeah, but I still want to look like that because they're what's celebrated in this generation. And I think from that extent where it's just like, you could tell somebody, it's like they always tell that men always, there's always this thing with men and women. You could give a woman hair, she's gonna go get a weave. You give a woman nails, she's gonna get fake nails. You give a woman $1 million, she's gonna want $2 million.
Hey, let me tell you something. Hey, once this check hits the mailbox, I promise you right now, if you do any enhancement surgery on yourself, I will come to this pod and flame your ass, nigga. Cause you is on your shit.
No, I'm just saying
Hey,
in
nigga,
general, like,
hey, trust me. Hey, fans, you know what I'm saying, listeners? I am watching Lauren closely, all right? If she has any enhancement, I will come and out her because she is talking some cash shit right now. What happened to my body, my choice?
it is your body, your choice, but that doesn't also mean that your mind is not being manipulated to where you don't accept your own body, is what I'm saying.
Ooh, she's dropping bars.
Like, it's your choice to do whatever
Hit the
you
drop,
want.
man.
Put me on the track.
I ain't say all that. Now slow down, bucko. Slow down. I ain't
No,
say
but
all
like
that.
I am, it's definitely 100% your choice of what you want to do with your body. But I think we're getting to a point with technology in this generation where your mind is being manipulated so much that you want to make that choice to put those enhancements in because that's what's popping. You want to fit in, and it's just like, I'm not good enough if I don't do this. And it's like trying to convince somebody that they are good enough. Sometimes it's harder than telling them that they aren't.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
And so it's your choice. Do whatever you want to do with your body, but also recognize when your mind is just being manipulated. I.e., these school shootings and Call of Duty. That was a big topic too, because I think it was a video game of Call of Duty. It got so real to the point where like a lot of kids and a lot of boys kept playing the game just thinking it's only a video game. But now they're desensitized to like, no nigga, you actually just kill somebody's son. Like this isn't like video game shit. Like
Yeah, see, I but also put the responsibility on the adults and as well as the people around them, surrounding them. Because if your child should be able to play some like games like that, or if you have any kind of, if you want them to play or don't want to play, you should make that decision. But if they choose to do those things, you let them. You have to explain to them the pros and cons of this and be very real with them. Yes, if you go out there and you pop off something like Call of Duty, you would not make it home, bro.
I think this is a great conversation, number one. But number two, it's like, I think some people think they're invincible, think like, oh, this is gonna happen, and like I said, they don't know reality from not reality and fakeness, so they think that this is gonna happen. Hell, they probably sit there, oh, I'm gonna win a gold medal because I support Trump or something like that, and I did it in Trump's name. So like that the shooting on July 4th, the guy was showing
Highland
that
Park.
Yeah, the guy they showed him, he was a Trump supporter, and he ended up doing a mass shooting on a July 4th parade or something like that. And it's like they will literally say it's in the name of Trump and be like, no, I should get a gold medal. Like, what?
You know what? See, all that, when they dig up like who you support and shit, like sometimes that be kind of bullshit to me, because it's like one thing that doesn't always equal the other thing. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, yes, I know Trump is a hot topic button and everybody in the black community dislikes Trumps and all that, but one thing doesn't always equal the other thing a lot.
I won't say it 100% like domino effect equals the next thing, but I will say that it does have a play into what happened. So like when I look at Trump and a lot of his beliefs and his views, where it's like, if things don't go my way, you basically just murder everybody. Like, I'm not saying 100% that's the case, but I feel like in a sense there was a role that his preachings, his teachings onto the crowd and the public have definitely incited some behavior coming out of the public. Because you cannot tell me that riot would have not happened or not happened had Trump not incited the crowd, which I don't know how he didn't get charged with inciting a crowd, but politicians.
It is what it is, man. Hey, that's the American way. They're gonna police America how they feel fit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, always is a big hot topic to me. People want to complain about the president. You need to go down to your local precinct and make change there. Make change in your city.
Go vote.
With the groundbreaking. Yeah, go vote in your city. Don't wait till the presidential election to go vote. That's so stupid to me. You start from the ground up. You build anything from the ground up. You know what I'm saying? So,
and Maul has a point, because I feel like, these politicians, they don't just come president out of nowhere. No, these are people who have been in politics from, like you just said, the ground up. They start at city council. They start at running
not
for
Trump,
state.
but I
well, you
get
know what I'm
saying.
Like, they start from long term to before they get pregnant. You know, like your presidents are like 60, 70 years old. They're so old people. I'm not sorry.
Not
to
my
the
boy
elderly,
Barack now. Come on now.
Barack look good for his age. Shit.
All right,
Black
Michelle,
don't
give you
crack.
them hands. All right. Michelle, give you them hands. You could be respectful. You be respectful
I
when you talk
did.
about
I
the
said he
president.
looked good and black don't crack. And I didn't say he was Big Daddy or nothing. But
Whoa.
I said I didn't. I didn't say he was Big Daddy, but you know, he looked good for his age. I'm not gonna lie. But anyways, man. Let's talk about what was this? The Wireless Fest just happened this past weekend. A lot of performers are out there.
That was out. That's out from you. Where you from, ain't it?
Huh?
Well, I don't know where you from there, but I know you frequent there.
Oh, out in London?
Yeah.
Man, I think it's so cool how like music can literally travel like worldwide, and it's like I feel like that would be a good industry if you just like one that wants to explore different cultures, because music comes from culture, but there's so much variety in it that I'm pretty sure like Nicki Minaj probably on a regular day runs into like people from England, people from Africa, like this is a regular day versus we over here. Oh my gosh, you have an accent.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool.
I think Nicki is, you know what I'm saying, underrated. I think she don't get enough credit as she should. You know, because Nicki, I remember, I'm
this
old
man
enough
over
to
here just
Nicki,
trying to start inside a fight because what the fuck?
What you mean?
What you mean she underrated?
She is underrated, underappreciated. Nicki Minaj?
Cap.
Bro, Nicki has done so much.
Nicki has done a lot. I'll give her that, but she definitely gets the attention she deserves. I will say that.
I don't think so, man.
This girl could flip her hair. They finna put her on the shade
Nicki
room.
ain't even never won a Grammy. Never. And I guarantee she had some slappers back then. Listen, unlike I was outside around that time. You feel me? And all these chicks want to be barbed.
I'm saying in general though, because at the end of the day, when it comes to Grammy and award shows in general, you know, there's a certain type. At the end of the day, there's a certain type of artist that they want to award. So for instance, I'm not sure, but correct me wrong. Has Cardi B ever got a Grammy?
That's right, for best rap album. Matter of fact.
Well, was it with Meg?
No, it's for her one and only album. She won best rap album that year.
Oh, maybe I'm kind of confused. I don't
Over
know.
my boy Pusha T. Come on now, that was a great.
I don't know then, but I feel like she definitely gets a lot of attention. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, she won that award over Nip. And that was a great album, but I'm sorry.
I think it just comes down to who sells the most. It's not necessarily who creates the best work. It's who made me the most money.
Speaking of money, because I want to change the topic, because, you know, that year I do feel like Nip should have won the Grammy. But anyway, the dollar and the euro are less than a penny away from reaching parity for the first time in 20 years. You heard about that yet?
So when you say parity, like you mean they're valued at the same amount?
Yeah, let me read the article right from Business Insider. The dollar and the euro are on the brink of 1-to-1 equivalence for the first time since 2002. On Monday, the euro exchange rate with the dollar was at 1.009, down about 15% in the last 12 months. The latest catalyst was fear that the Eurozone would enter recession if Russia, Nord Stream 1 pipeline doesn't resume gas deliveries. What you think about that? It's right up your alley. So tell me what you think about that.
That's
you
a big
always
one.
talking about the euros.
Because
every time you
first of all, no. I talk about euros because it is one of the currencies around the world that can compete with the US dollar, as you can see. Like, okay, what am I gonna not to be insulting, but like rupees in India, like they're not worth nothing compared to American dollar. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's kind of shocking because, like, you know, that's kind of shocking because, you know, like, basically, like, okay, if I had to say, like, power nations in a sense, or, like, power countries, U.S., UK, well, I can't say UK because United Kingdom, but you get the idea of it. Probably, like, Russia, clearly. You know what I'm saying? Which is interesting. I find that interesting because the gas prices just recently starting to go back down.
Yeah, but see, I think the global economy is wrecked. And this is just the beginning of it. Like,
well,
this is just
do you remember?
Parody.
I think it was last episode or the one before last.
I know you about to go.
Was it episode 7 or episode 6 where I said like?
I want to say it might have been 4 or 5.
I don't remember exactly which episode. We'll check back and definitely like leave in the comments. But I was talking about you know, the euro, the US dollar, and how like investors might not want to invest in economy that has a lot of turmoil between, because I said like gun laws, abortion rights, and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like that kind of makes it shaky. So I think this is like a perfect example of that, because when you have a power nation like the U.S. having a struggling economy, you know what I'm saying? It goes to show it's not just a U.S. problem. It has a ripple effect across the world. Because I believe in that episode we also talked about how that could almost like relate into China, because like, okay, China, even though they have they do work with other countries, they export a lot of goods to the U.S. So if the U.S. economy is struggling, that trickles down like a domino effect to the Chinese economy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And so I think that's really interesting, because we are talking about the Ukraine and Russian war, and I think I've heard so many different perspectives on this war, and I have to agree with a lot of them too, because a lot of them are like, why are we over here dumping money into a Ukraine and Russian war when we can't even get our own shit right in our own home country? You know what I'm saying? So that just goes to show, I think, in a sense, like, okay, we're dumping money over there, but obviously it's having an issue with the euro, because you got to remember over there that the US is kind of like an island, versus like in Europe, so many different countries are so intertwined and interconnected that what happens with one affects the next one, affects the next one within the matter of like probably like days. So think about it. Russia and Ukraine are all, relatively close to Europe. So they're battling, going back and forth, blowing up shit is affecting UK economy. Well, not blowing up shit, but people's homes and whatnot.
Yeah, I think just to touch on something you say about how you feel like, everybody says the U.S. always sticks their nose in other people's business. But you got to think, we are the United States of America, right? We are the bully and we're the hero. So we have to play both sides of the fence. And by us playing both sides of the fence, that leads us to a lot of integrating in other people's business.
Bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Because we the bully and we the hero.
I think it's like, it's a double-edged sword, because, we have a duty to step in at good times and bad times, because at the end of the day we be helping out and not helping out we're so impactful to so many other countries, you know what I'm saying, between import, export, economy, flights, business, and that kind of thing. And then we're so influential on top of it with like music, American trends, this and that it kind of puts us in a spot where it's like, are we the good guy or the bad guy, like you said? Because like,
we're both.
So like, if I had to give an example, American influence on like, I don't know, like Chinese culture or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're blaming like these damn Americans always showing ass and titties and this and that, and it's just like, is this shit not making money though in your country? So am I the good guy or the bad guy? Because like in some other countries it's like really conservative over there. Like you show, like, I know like Afghanistan, you show your hair, you getting shot. Versus me, like, man, it's high, I'm gonna put on my little hoochie mama shorts.
Hey, you listen, you could do that here. Can't do that there, as long as you know. So when you out traveling, getting that passport stamp, just remember that now. Remember. Yeah,
speaking of that, didn't Brittany Griner pledge guilty to the pen?
I saw
having
that.
The pen in Russia. Speaking of Russia, shit.
I think she's just a ploy. I mean, she has a name. She has, clout over her name. So, but imagine how many other Americans are over there stuck in the system.
Yeah, because like, even I think at the end of the day, like, who tweet? I think it was Chris Brown tweeted something or put something on Instagram where he's just like, it's sad to see that Brittany Griner is still overseas battling this, because had this been a male basketball player, it would have been an entirely different story, for one. For two, like you said, it does kind of shine light on just like, travel in general, where you may not know the other countries.
Courtesies.
Yeah, custom courtesies and whatnot. Three, it's like, okay, if they're using this to send a message because she is a public figure in the American society, how many other just regular people, like you said, are stuck in jails over there? There was just something I saw the other day. I think a journalist was killed overseas, a U.S. journalist overseas for something, and I think it was like Afghanistan or like the Middle East somewhere, or Palestine, I want to say, but it didn't get that much media attention. Like I saw it because I have like a lot of Muslim friends that are really connected with the Middle East, but I was just like, damn, like I wouldn't have heard about this had I not been friends with these people. But Brittany Griner, this shit gonna be in the news.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that if she was LeBron, well, LeBron wouldn't be over there in Russia with some bud. I'm gonna tell you right now.
I don't know.
He wouldn't. We got handlers for that. But that goes back to the pay scale and the pay rate. Brittany Griner is a superstar in the WNBA, and she can, she does a lot for just women's basketball in general, basketball as a whole. So to see her over there, stuck over there, pretty much fighting for her freedom because she's facing up to 10 years.
Yeah.
I just think it's a ploy by the Russian government to maybe swap it out for somebody else, you know. And I heard stories about that, but, you know.
As far as LeBron, I'm not going to like saying he's a bad person, but I do believe that, you know, when people get to a certain level of success, height, money, they start to believe that they're invincible too.
Invincibility, yeah.
Where it's just like, I can just buy my way out of this kind of thing. I ain't gonna cap Elon Musk. I don't know if he can really get out of that because, I mean, he can, but at the same time too, it's like, bro, you did sign a contract. Like, you think you can just buy your way out of a contract? Well, shit, I want $44 billion to go buy my way out of something. You know, what I'm saying?
But go back to Elon Musk. He got money to go to war. See, that's the thing. A lot of times we want to go to war with companies and other individuals, and we don't have enough money to. Let's be honest. Like, one of the rules of war is like you never fight when you are less than. So,
well, yeah, I have to agree with that. But at the same time, too, it's just like I'm not in Brittany Garner's shoes, but it's like, okay, this is I will say there is help that can be done for her situation, and it's sad. Like, there's no doubt about it that this probably would have been a different story had it been a male basketball player that's well known, like you said, LeBron, or if it was, what's his name, Kevin Durant or something like that. This would have been a whole different story because, like you said, you can't go to war when you know you don't have the funds for it. So at the end of the day, it's like, she's a superstar in our community, but does she really raise that much money to make it, you know, I need help from the U.S.?
Yeah, worldwide, no.
Yeah.
If that was LeBron, KD, or any other,
and what do they have?
NBA
they got the
player,
money behind them,
exactly,
to bring the attention to it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's poor or anything, but it's just like, she doesn't have the same media attention that Kevin Durant would have, that LeBron James would have, where like this shit is like, oh, they done fucked up.
It's just the clout token. She ain't got no tokens in the clout meter. So, you know, we don't have enough. Yeah, we here in America, we know the story, and those who follow basketball, you know, we see what she's going through. But to the whole nation, they be like, all right, and
yeah, because I saw something too where it was her wife, I think, was having President Biden wrote a letter to her wife ensuring that she would come home because she didn't even make it home for Independence Day. And I think she has 2 kids too. So that's kind of sad in itself. You know, that's traumatizing to her family. But it's like, that did not get the same amount of media attention as this, like I just said, is what would have gotten had it been a Kevin Durant, LeBron James, male figure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and just think, if you went over there and you had Bud in your pocket, we ain't gonna hear nothing about you. You gonna be a little blip note.
You know what? Blip note. I might be dead because I'll be wilding the fuck out because I know I ain't gonna get the media attention.
Don't worry, I'll pie without you then. Hey, I'll keep the pie going.
Y'all see how rude this is? You know what? That's toxic. Bring it back, toxic, full circle.
Wow.
Full circle. Because you know what's funny? He gonna try and continue the Lauren Explains It All podcast. Like, he can replace Lauren. Good luck. I'm one of one, little bitch.
Hey, it is called the Lauren Explains It All podcast, but what they say in show business, the show must go on. But that's neither here or there.
You're right, because it ain't anywhere. But at least anyone on this planet. But anyways, you know, we've been over here talking forever and a day. It's been a great podcast. We're gonna wrap it up. I'm all over here, obviously trying to wild out with these wild ideas, talking about replacing me. So you know what? That's where the show stops for today.
Lauren explains it all.
And you know who has won a Grammy? Burna Boy.
Goodbye.
Lauren explains it all.